Professor Proppa's lecture is now starting. Professor Proppa's lecture is now starting. Welcome to Professor Proppa's lecture on beginning tips to playing TFT here at Proppa Zone University. Just as a friendly reminder, this is an introductory course, so we will be covering some basic concepts and tips. This will not cover advanced instruction. You can find that postgraduate level course elsewhere on YouTube or Twitch. Now, let's begin. My first tip is not all comps are equal. Some comps are naturally stronger than others. Some comps do better against specific other comps. So my advice is you need to learn 2 to 3 different comps to be viable playing TFT. Now you can find those on Google search. There's a number of sites that specialize in this. Just put the current set. The current set right now is set 8. And just type in set 8 TFT comps. Mobilytics is one of the great sites I like to use personally. My next tip is practice, practice, practice. You know the meme? We talk about practice by Allen Iverson, AI. Yes, we are. Easy enough said, but this is very important. Because even if you're looking up different comps, which is our first tip, the game can move pretty fast, especially if you're new. And this is doubled by the fact that you're constantly looking on a browser, looking for your comp and the items, the units, the positioning, etc. The game will move too quickly for you. So once you learn and you play enough and get enough practice in, then it'll be easy to keep up with the rhythm. But starting off, you will be a little bit over your head. So I really recommend that you practice and you take this one to heart. This tip is pay attention to the competition. Look at what your competitors are running for units and comps. Because if you see 3 others are running the comp you're trying to go for, let's say for set 8 recon, and you can't get your carry characters, in this case that would be Kai'Sa, it's time to switch because you have fierce competition for a scarce resource, which is the carry characters of the comp, so Kai'Sa in this case. You also want to pay attention to the competition because it'll be useful to know for their positioning, which I will go into later this video, but even if you have the inferior comp or the superior comp, you can still win or lose based off your positioning and your opponent's positioning. My next tip is items are just as important as your comp. Items are important. TFT might make patches to change if items are more important than your comp and vice versa, but overall they're pretty equal. For example, if you face someone with the same comp as you and all things equal except for the items, whoever doesn't have the right items for their carry character will lose. So you need to also look at the description for completed items because they have benefits that can change the outcome of a round. Static Shiv, for instance, every 3rd attack, they'll do an electric bolt to X number of enemies, that sort of thing, that you will just not get without that item. This next tip is actually related to the previous one directly, and that is items need to go on your carry characters. Your carry characters are the characters who benefit the most from the comp you're running, and to give those carries an even more improved edge is to put the right items on them. On a side note, carries usually do the most damage through that comp, and there are some exceptions, but that's the general rule. So you want to get them the items because they will do the most damage and have the most benefit from it. This next tip is positioning is key. Positioning is so important because proper positioning can be the reason why you win or lose a round and even win or lose the game. So the basic positioning philosophy is heavy tank-like units with a lot of HP and /or armor should go to the front. And then any ranged and assassin type characters, including mages, go to the back. But you need to pay attention how to position your units to allow for their best utility beyond just these basics. I'll give you an example. In the current set 8, Anima Squad has a very weak front line. Your front line would be Riven, who is a tier 3 character, Silas and Nasus, who are tier 1. So even Silas and Nasus, if you get them to 3-star, endgame, they're going to get shredded. So instead of a line for your front line and you put your ranged units in the back, you actually form a diamond and you put your Riven in the middle and you put like your Silas up front and then your Nasus and someone else in that midline, the front end of the diamond, and then you put your Misfortune in the back, your Jinx in the back, your Vayne in the middle. So it forms a diamond because it allows your carry character, which is Misfortune or Jinx, to survive long enough because your front line's not getting in those 1v1s. Easily get defeated, creating those 2v1s or 3v1s. So that's why positioning is crucial, because someone with Anima Squad can last at the end of the game if they do the diamond shape compared to 2 lines. Another note for this tip is if you're in the final 2 and the fights are very evenly matched between you and your opponent, counter positioning based off the enemy's team position is crucial. This can be taking your carry character and repositioning away from their carry because their carry character is killing yours way too quickly, or positioning one of your characters that has the item Zephyr so it targets the enemy carry, preventing that unit from entering battle for 5 seconds. So little things like this can carry the day for you. My final tip is, this is a game of highs and lows. Each round has peaks and valleys, let alone a string of games. TFT truly is a game of highs and lows. You can be destroying everyone going on a 10-round win streak at the start and still end up only being 4th or 5th by the end. True story, because it happened to me. And this can be vice versa. You can be down to 30 health very early in the game and still come out top 2. Also happened to me. So it's really important to enjoy the peaks, but don't lose focus at the end goal, which is a top 4 finish. Each game is unique and by itself with some luck involved. So just remember, there might be highs, there might be lows, but you'll get your share of both. So in the end, just enjoy the game, no matter the outcome. These have been my beginner tips to playing TFT. I hope you enjoyed this lecture provided by me, Professor Proppa. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, please give it a like and write a comment. These positive evaluations help me as a professor for you. I currently have other lectures for other games like DKO on my channel, and I will be working on additional lectures specifically on TFT, so subscribe to be the first to know when those lectures release. Also, feel free to visit me during my office hours on Twitch if you just want to chat, ask questions, or want to recommend a new game that could become my next course series for Proppa Zone University. Thank you.